The champs are here at the USA Lacrosse headquarters in Sparks, Maryland. This is the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic, live here on Lax Sports Network. The Boston College women, fresh off their first championship here in the spring, taking on Team Canada here in Game 2 of our quadruple header today at Allison here from Tierney Field. Hello, everybody. Alongside Rachel DeCecco, I am Tom Eschen. And Rachel, you look at, of course, the Canadian women who yesterday were in that game against Team USA, struggled. They lost 19-3. And our first look at the BC women's team here in this fall season. And I'm sure we're all excited to see what is exactly in store for these champs.
Yeah, Canada coming off a tough loss last night, but that was really the first time this team has been together in competition, and then they go up against Team USA, who's just incredibly talented across the board. Excited to see the reigning champs today, obviously without Charlotte North and Belle Smith, who are playing for Team USA this weekend. They've got a lot of talent coming up through the ranks, though, that can help fill in those spots. Yeah,
I think they're excited about sort of the vibe that is on this team now for BC after making it to the championship year after year after year. They finally break through, and of course, you know, they don't want to change in terms of their philosophy. It's of course a great thing for their program to be here in this spot in the Fall Classic and making sort of the step in this direction. And now you see Sam Apuzzo on the sidelines here today. She, of course, playing for Team USA and also coaching here at BC, getting that promotion with KAYLA Trainer moving to Syracuse. Just excited to see some of those interactions, of course, for BC with some of their players also on the USA side this weekend as well.
Yeah, as you said, I mean, making 3 championship games, Final Fours back-to-back, they certainly appreciate how difficult it is to get to that championship game and finally sort of getting that monkey off their back and winning the championship. No doubt they will not take that for granted, and it's an honor for them to be here participating in the Fall Classic, you know, as the reigning champs do every year.
Yeah, talked to Acacia Walker-Weinstein before this game, and she said, yeah, it's really hard to win a championship. It's not easy, and she would know. See Rachel Hall, who was so outstanding during the tournament in the cage for BC women. We are set and ready to go. The opening draw control underway here at Tierney Field.
And the draw is something that Team Canada struggled with last night against Team USA. You see here BC coming up with that first draw. They were pre-game, I saw them warming up, looking to make some adjustments there, try and get some of those draws back.
Dana Dobie, Kaylin Morissette sharing those duties with Canada. Dobie had a couple of outstanding goals yesterday. That's someone to watch, or accordingly as well. Offense flowing through her when they had possession yesterday. So see what Canada has on their side. Meanwhile, here's our first look at the BC women's offense. That one away, batted away there, and now it's Team Canada getting possession.
Yeah, and Coach Cheater talked about that with me today, about a little bit higher pressure to getting on the hands of the attacker, something they failed to do against Team USA last night. You see it right away here, a nice aggressive play by Canada defense, get that ball back.
I don't know who would have been able to stop Team USA last night. It was a freight train, it felt like. It was goal after goal, and then now maybe getting to settle in a little bit more. Canada getting that game under their belt, and now they get this BC team. There's a shot and an opening save by Rachel Hall. Here comes the Eagles in the clear. See how hard they push, and there is the shot by Hunter Roman. Stopped
yeah, they did have,
by Pagano.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, they did have numbers there. She elected to keep it instead of kind of moving that ball, trying to get the defense to ship, and a nice save there by Pagano.
Coming right back is Allie Jimerson. Jimerson in the CSA. You hear a lot of yes, yes, yeses on the sideline of BC, liking what they're seeing with those active sticks picked up by Melanie Welch.
And we see already a little bit of a different offensive style from Team Canada. Last night they were very slow and deliberate, really wanted to eat up as much of the clock as possible. And we've seen them twice now really kind of run and gun, try and get a quick shot off.
Now they get it to McKenna Davis in the clear. BC returning. This is with, of course, North and Belle Smith included. They do return 82% of their offensive output from last year. And here is Mallory Hasselbeck. Her sister is Annabelle. This is the first time we've seen Mallory, of course, the top recruit coming in the country to BC this year. She gets her first shot. I can't believe I made that mistake the first time she gets an opportunity.
Yeah, #1 recruit this year. BC has 2 of the top 10 Hasselback, as well as Summer Augustino out of New York, was number 4 in the top 10 recruits. So reloading already from, as you said, 82% of their attack return, but 2 more superstars added to the roster this year.
Yeah, Kara Urbank, a big part of their final 4 runs championship weekend over the year. She does move on. There's the shot by Gritzuk, saved by Hall. Hall's picked up right where she left off in the spring. Here's Sydney Scales, the sophomore from Walpole, Massachusetts. There's Hasselbeck trying to find Martello. And one trickles out of bounds.
Nice adjustment there, getting rid of that ball when they had numbers. Just couldn't quite handle that pass, but they've been now in transition, player up twice, so something to look for Canada adjustment-wise, trying to drop back in sooner and quicker to avoid those fast breaks.
Ryan Dabrowski able to get it into the offensive side for Canada here. You saw on the bottom, the weather was a little touch and go. We had some rain come at the very end of our first game of the day. The skies opened up for a bit. Thankfully, the game was over by then, and keeping an eye on the sky, if you will, but overall, we're going to hang in there and hope for the best, so cross your fingers at home. Still no score here, 0-0. Knocked down that time was Taylor Gate. Coming back out with it here is BC.
Once again, BC has numbers here. We'll see if they're able to convert this time. One more, just that one more pass they need in transition. Mallory Hasselback was wide open there at the elbow.
Yeah, they've had pretty open runs, it feels like, here in these transition clear situations so far. Haven't taken advantage yet.
Yeah, it's pretty typical. This is fall ball, right? They've had 1 week of competition with each other. So they're just still trying to learn each other's sort of habits in the fast break, where people like to go, how quickly to move the ball. All of that will come with time and reps.
Yeah, I talked to Acacia. She goes, I go, well, what's different? You know, you bring back everybody. She goes, it is a new puzzle every year. You know, even if it's the same people, the freshmen give things just a bit of a different vibe. It is always different. Hasselbeck gets in the middle. That's a bounce off the pipe. Picked up there by Dabrowski.
Looks like they're going to take some time getting some subs in here.
Playing international rules here all day long for both the men and the women. Brooklyn Walker-Welch took a look at it.
She was trying to draw the shooting space there, but a nice job by BC. Stay out of shooting space and just show a little bit of that double, kind of convince her not to challenge there. Nice job on both ends.
Oh, Rachel Hall comes out of the case. She slips. She gets right back up. She's okay. She is active, as we know. Good job by this defense. Sydney Scales. Walker-Welch once again aggressively going in, and just a little wide. It bounces through. And this defense for BC, I mean, they went a little bit unheralded, I think, until the end of last year, but they were a young group, but a feisty one at that. And now they just get a year older, and you get everybody back. I think that makes them really, really dangerous again.
Yeah, they had a really solid defensive unit last year, and as you said, time will allow them to even gel even more together. And you saw they're doing a nice job kind of sinking in. They're playing man-to-man, able to read those slides and communicate well defensively.
Yeah, Scales, Schleicher, Roman helped to anchor that with Hall behind them. Muscling in for the score, it's Andrea Reynolds. BC gets on the board.
Nice take there by Andrea Reynolds. Team Canada just needed to close that double up a little bit more. Gave her a little bit too much space in the middle, which allowed her to slip through there.
Keisha Walker saying that she has blossomed this fall after not getting a whole lot of time last year, the sophomore from Sudbury, Massachusetts. What a shot.
Yeah, we saw that slide come in just a hair late, and then the other outside slide come in, and they just a second too late and needed to close that gap to really kind of get her to turn back the other way.
Coming out of high school, she was the number 11 recruit by Inside Lacrosse, so this BC program continuing to do so and find some of these top recruits and some diamonds in the rough along the way too. Also working their way in the transfer portal and bringing in Courtney Taylor, another defender here, coming over from Temple.
Yeah, I mean, that's a unique thing we saw, you know, this season and last season, these grad transfers, the extra year of eligibility with the COVID year. You know, accordingly to Maryland, we've seen a handful of players go to UNC. We've got Taylor from Temple to BC, so it's going to be really interesting for these teams to adjust with some of these more senior players transferring for their last year of eligibility.
It's CASSIDY Weeks finding some space and scoring. 2-0 Boston College.
This draw here for Team Canada is going to be so important. You see a similar breakdown there defensively. Nice takes by Weeks. Slide needed to come low to high to prevent her from getting that shot off. Just a little bit late there.
Weeks scoring a goal in both the NCAA semifinal against North Carolina and then again in the championship game against Syracuse. Started every game last year from Bayport, New York. It's been so fascinating to sort of watch the regeneration of this Boston College program after we know the big three of Apuzzo and Kent and Arsenault over the years that got all to those championship games, and then now seeing how they've been able to reload and find new great athletes and put them in the right spot to be successful. It's been pretty amazing to watch.
Yeah, those women are part of the reason they can reload. You get to watch BC, you watch talent like Apuzzo, Kent, and Arsenault, and as a young player, you think, I want to be like them, I want to go there. And so that foundation they laid, you know, kind of being stars in their own right, even though they never won while they played, they are an absolutely huge reason that BC was able to win this year.
And that's what makes this weekend important too, because they're wearing red, white, and blue. Those same people, you know, and they used to wear a BC uniform. Some currently doing so in North and Bell Smith. Another stop there by Halls. He's had a fantastic start. The big thing they want from her is just to be consistent. Of course, she has those flashes of brilliance, and we saw that up close in some of the biggest games, and now they just want to see that maybe not as spectacular, but just a little more steady too. It's hard to do that on a day-to-day basis, but performances like that are important.
Nice collapse there by the Canada defense off that feed in the middle. Yeah, oftentimes, you know, the defense goes as the goalie goes, so when you have somebody steady back there that can kind of anchor everything, keep the defense calm and focused, it's such a huge part, you know, of a successful defensive unit.
Question for Team Canada is to try and find some more offense. Of course, just those 3 goals yesterday, at times a little disjointed, like you said, Rachel, and trying to find, you know, playing together for them. It's been a while just playing as individuals and together too, trying to find that rhythm offensively.
Yeah, I mean, the borders just reopened between Canada and the U.S., so none of these Canadian players were able to play in Athletes Unlimited this summer, which is a huge disadvantage as you're preparing for the World Cup. Being without that high-level competition for, you know, almost 2 years, it's hard to kind of get back into that. Just the pace, the physicality of all of it takes some time.
Another quick move here on the break for Boston College as they continue to push the ball. That one settled back down. McKenna Davis had it, and she will have it here for a free position. 2:30 to play in this first quarter. We'll play running time up until 30 seconds at the end of each of the first 3 quarters. And there goes Davis for the score. Just a couple steps. She finds the top shelf. 3-0 BC.
Yeah, able to get that shooting space call on the fast break. That low to high slide in the fast break is so hard to avoid shooting space. And McKenna able to capitalize on the 8-meter.
Davis, a freshman from Canandaigua, New York, a lefty, sort of brings out a different dimension to this BC offense, sort of filling that hole for them, and already making an impact here. So the other freshman, one of their other freshmen, Mallory Hasselbeck, will come out and take the ensuing draw control. She will go up against Dana Doby. How about this? What a matchup.
Yeah, and we've seen Mallory really involved in the offense so far now on the draw. So obviously she was the top recruit for a reason, but really interesting and nice to see her making an immediate impact here for BC.
That one picked up by Canada. Here comes Jimerson. Jimerson finds some space in the middle, gets it taken away. Good job by Ryan Smith. One minute to go in the first. 3-0 Boston College. Chevery, little spin on the inside, looking in again.
Hauled down again. I wonder if she needs to make a shoe change here. We've seen her slip a couple times. As you said, it did rain pretty heavily in between games, but that one cost them. Yeah,
Jimerson able to find the back of the net. Canada on the board for the first time today. It's 3-1.
Just an unlucky slip there by Rachel Hall. Unable to really recover before that shot came in. Good heads-up play by Team Canada, seeing that Hall had fallen down, getting that quick feed in. Jimerson with the finish. Yeah, for someone that moves as much as Hall does, you're right about the shoe, so that does make a huge difference. So Jimerson on the board. She had a nice career at Syracuse, couple seasons there after transferring over from Albany. Finished up at Syracuse in 2018. Had a couple of shots yesterday, couldn't find the cage, but does here on this Saturday afternoon. Quick whistle there after the draw. I believe it didn't go high enough, so Doby and Hasselbeck will go again. Yep, no foul on either player, so they will just redraw. Did not go high enough.
.24 to play in this first. Same thing.
Yeah, you see Dana and Mallory really pushing against each other. Neither one unable to really get underneath that and get it up high. Dana, you could see Dana making eye contact with her team on the circle, trying to tell them without telling them where she plans on drawing that ball to.
And she does get that past the line, though I think somebody had gone over briefly for Team Canada. So U.S. will take over here. Final seconds of this first. .10 on the clock. Ball in the stick of McKenna Davis. She looks in the middle. That one goes right on through. Looked like that time BC went over.
Yeah, great pressure on the feed there in the last 10 seconds of the quarter to hold them just to 3 goals.
Just the 3 goals is right. Those 3 goals put on the board by BC at the beginning of the first quarter. They go out to greet their goalie here. We are through 1 here in Sparks, Maryland. Boston College leading Team Canada here on Lax Sports Network. Second quarter about to get underway here in Sparks, Maryland. You're watching the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic live on Lax Sports Network alongside Rachel DeCecco. I am Tom Eschen. It's 3-1. BC on the board quickly. McKenna Davis, Cassidy Weeks, and Andrea Reynolds each with goals here today. Allie Jimerson the goal for Team Canada. These teams flipping sides. Rachel Hall did change her shoes. That's been confirmed, so mitigating maybe some of those slips. How about Hasselbeck, the spin cycle, then the save by Pagano.
You know, if you're another team in the NCAA right now and you're watching Mallory Hasselbeck, one of her first games in the crimson and white, really be able to get all these shots off, really make an impact right away. And she's really just getting started, so she is going to be dangerous for the Eagles.
McKenna Davis has looked pretty dangerous too. What a nice feed there inside to Weeks. 4-1 BC.
It's a dangerous feed in there. I was able to get it between the two sticks of the Canadian defense. It's a great handle there by Weeks.
Weeks with a couple of scores in the national championship game against Syracuse in the spring. She's twins with Cassidy, if you're wondering about that name. So we've got a few different sister combinations on this BC women's team, the Hasselbecks as well. And yes, that name probably sounds familiar if you don't know that their father is Matthew. BC alum and then had a long NFL career.
BC switching up the draw here.
Going with Courtney Weeks now, had been Hasselbeck. Schleicher picks up the draw. Back the other way comes Boston College, 4-1, looking to add.
BC now taking their time a little bit with this clock. Isolation here, lots of space to work with.
And a whistle. There's certainly a block called on Canada. We'll get a free position out of that.
Martello just charges downhill so quickly. We've seen her do it in transition. We saw her do it there on the take. Really difficult to stop. You've got to get in front of her, plant your feet and really be ready for that. Team Canada kind of slid in and then just blocked her.
And just like that, another couple steps and another score. This time it's Martello, the sophomore from Rockville Center. 5-1 BC.
Nice job there by Martello. Really kept it simple on that 8-meter. Coach Jen Kent talked about Martello playing more of a role on offense this year, trying to fill some of Kara Urbank's shoes. Just a nice take there, getting the 8-meter, and then a beautiful finish.
That's 6 goals in 15 games last season. You feel like BC always had that sort of aggressive nature off the free position, and that's you see Charlotte North and some of her highlights, some of those step and shoot kind of a feel. A lot of times you'll see the players sort of go in and weave their way through. BC, they more of a just sort of step in and try to shoot a little quicker. We've seen over the years.
Yeah, courtesy of KAYLA Trainer, I would say. She's so dangerous on an 8-meter. I'm sure, you know, her influence, you know, as a coach there, you'll see it for years and years to come, but they are very dangerous on 8-meter shots.
Of course, KAYLA moving on to coach Syracuse this offseason. Brooklyn Walker Welch gets inside. That's tipped out, but picked up again by a red shirt.
BC likely familiar with this weave attack Canada's doing, obviously. Played Syracuse multiple times last year in a championship game and familiar with having to defend.
Nice little move there by Ritzuk into the middle. That shot just a little wide. I think it's on cage. It might go in. Whistle blows off the ball there for Canada, so it does go the Boston College way. Good defensive stand there. 5 minutes into the second, 5-1, BC with the lead. Here's Annabelle Hasselbeck, number 4 in white.
I know you mentioned their father, but let's mention their mother as well, who is in the BC Ring of Honor, a field hockey player at BC. An incredible athlete in her own right, probably doesn't get enough credit for Annabelle and Mallory's athleticism.
Those are some good genes, you could say.
Absolutely. Just a great handle there. It was a beautiful double by Team Canada. Able to get a check off, but just a really, really nice handle by Caitlin Mossman to get out of that. Nice switch there on the screen. Yeah, nice switch by Team Canada. You see them defensively seeing a little bit more confidence, feeling a little bit more settled here. Able to come up with that turnover.
Here comes Peroni the other way. She played well yesterday. She gets tripped up there, and that will stop everything in their tracks.
I think Andrea Reynolds just couldn't stop her momentum there. Running back full speed. She will come off with a card.
So now Canada gets an opportunity at the player advantage. 8:46 to go in the half. Mentioned Peroni. She had 3 ground balls against Team USA. She was very scrappy yesterday despite the loss.
Now look for Team Canada to really try and spread out this BC attack, move the ball. A great opportunity there.
What a save by Hall and a shot by Erica Evans, who is one of the better scorers on this Canadian team, and in the country for that matter, for a long time. First at Canisius, then Maryland. But Hall again.
Yeah, it was quick. You know, they've got 2 minutes with the yellow card to kind of make something happen. But, you know, it was a great look. I don't think they could ask for a better look than that. Just Rachel Hall came in with a big save there.
Brief whistle, clarification. Now we're ready to go again. Annabelle Hasselbeck, a sophomore here with BC. Played in 21 games last year.
Rain is starting to come down pretty hard out here. See if this affects how aggressive they're going to be defensively. We've seen some players slip. Coming all the way out. Got a backer in there ready to slide if they get beat on the one-on-one.
Comes Mossman right through the middle. Going up to help that time, Evans. Midway through this second, 5-1 Boston College, taking their time.
BC player down. Obviously not trying to end up defensively now. It looks like they're coming back even here. So you'll see them start to get their attack movement a little bit now that they're even up.
Yep, that 2 minutes has expired. Comes Eric, shoots, backed up though by Davis. Davis already, goal and assist.
Yeah, she had some room underneath to work with there. The rest of the D had really shifted to that opposite side. She elected to go over the top and try and feed it, but maybe a little rolled on underneath there, she would have had some good space to work with.
Here comes Annabelle Hasselbeck, now behind. Mossman looking over the middle. Good catch in the middle, too.
That's textbook defense there by Team Canada. Slid safely, had used a strong body, but no foul, just held her stick upright. Great pressure, no foul, was able to get that turnover without even checking the player.
Seems like Canada settled down a little bit more in the defensive end. Let's see if that now produces some offense. Dodge there in the middle. The shot just a little wide by Annabelle Child. Heading to Harvard here. And nice dish now. Look in the middle. That one past the stick of Evans. 5 minutes to go in the half.
They are getting some good looks here. You know, a couple, you see them challenging from the top and then those feeds behind, just not able to convert.
Evans working her way in, and now the ball popping out. Picked up there by Hasselbeck. Here comes BC, a little unsettled. See if Canada can recover, and that draws a shooting space.
Yeah, Canada was just trying to get back and adjust, pick up players there. Good recognition by KAYLA Martello again to see that, just give that pump fake, get the shooting space call.
And there's Martello, her second goal of the day. 6-1, Boston College.
Almost a carbon copy of her last 8-meter. We'll see here that they're so quick off the hash.
Yeah, saw those two red shirts collapsing in there. Martello not fazed by that at all. Good shot. Tough for Pagano to stop. 6-1 Boston College here in the second.
Yeah, we see. I would say both ends Canada looks more comfortable. Attack-wise, they're getting some good looks, and it could just be reps and time. You know, those shots that are going a little bit wide, or they're just not quite able to handle it. You know, a few more games together. Really, you got to keep your stick in your hand. You know, when you're in the off season, but it's just not the same as when you're playing against another team. You can play as much as you want by yourself, but when you've got a defender on you, somebody being physical, it just takes some time to get back into that rhythm.
Yeah, definitely know where each other is going to be in Boston College. The benefit of that, and you see that with these college teams playing pretty much every single day together.
I give so much credit to these athletes that have been training alone, you know, for almost 2 years without really any guarantee that a World Cup was going to happen next summer. And just the mental and physical fortitude to be able to do that. You know, you're not guaranteed a spot on your team. You're not guaranteed the event will happen, but you know, it's a dream for most players, and to be able to train by yourself and keep that mindset is really admirable. And you know, they should all be proud whether they make the final roster or not. They have worked so hard over the last 2 years just to stay in shape and be ready for this.
Yeah, the holds process delayed another year. We'll have, hopefully, the World Championships coming up this summer in Towson, Maryland. U.S. hoping to defend their gold medal. 2 minutes to go here. Boston College getting the back up there, so keeping possession. Osman this time works her way inside, dumps it off. Scramble inside the CSA here for the ball.
Yeah, definitely a more aggressive version of Team Canada defense we're seeing here.
Doing a good job of not fouling, like you mentioned earlier, Rachel, in that too.
Yeah, I think that, you know, they're being physical but safe, and the refs are allowing them to play. They're not doing anything out of control or risky, and I think it's really paying off for them on the defensive end.
Boston College, though, has had a very long offensive possession here. They get it back with just about a minute to play.
Looks like they're setting up a little two-player game here outside, creating space to work.
There you go. There's the roll by Weeks. Osman picks it up, back to Weeks. Weeks goes high, then low. Cassidy Weeks, her second.
Yeah, a little bit of a broken play there with the two-player game, but great adjustment, drawing that defender in and then just slipping in for that quick feed. One little fake there past the goalie. Really nicely done.
She had 18 goals, 4 assists last season, also had 17 ground balls.
Yeah, and that's such a hard slide defensively to come all the way across that crease when she's already right on top of the goalie. So when you're sliding low to high, if you don't have somebody on that opposite side, it's really difficult to stop that ball. You know, on the opposite end, we may have seen Rachel Hall come out and try and intercept that, but if goalies few and far between will try and make that play.
Mossman with the assist. She had 4 assists in the national championship against Syracuse last spring, coming off a year when she had a career high 37. .24 on the clock here. BC will get one more possession, it appears.
Attacking from behind is something we saw them do a lot last year. Kara Urbank, really the quarterback of that attack.
There's Walsh, bouncer. Stopped there by Pagano. The final seconds tick off of this first half. BC 7, Canada 1. Really a nice effort from Boston College, and Canada a little more settled than they were yesterday too against Team USA.
Yeah, you can definitely see some adjustments they've made, just settling in confidence-wise. They've just got to put some more points on the board. Obviously, one goal is not enough, so they've got to be a little bit maybe more aggressive and tight on that attack. Just try and hit some of those shots.
Looking forward to seeing what's going to happen in the second half, but for now, we head to halftime here at the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic, live from Sparks, Maryland on Lax Sports Network. Second half just about to get underway here at the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic alongside Rachel DeCecco. I am Tom Eschen. It's 7-1 Boston College leading Team Canada after one full half of play. Cameron Housel, the Stony Brook goalie, now heads into the cage for Team Canada to start this second half. And also BC women making a change. Kate DeVere will go head into their side of the equation.
Kate DeVere had a busy summer. Most of the content and social you saw from AU was courtesy of Kate DeVere's content capturing. A really talented, in addition to being a really talented goalie, a very talented videographer and photographer.
So she saw a lot of great lacrosse up close and personal here. I'm sure she learned something even by osmosis in the middle of work, right?
Absolutely.
See Kaylin Morissette winning this opening draw control. BC with those 7 on the board. See what kind of energy Canada could come out with here against this Boston College women's side. BC with a couple goals from Cassidy Weeks and KAYLA Martello in their first half. Of course, BC not playing with Charlotte North or Belle Smith. They are both suited up in red, white, and blue for the duration of the weekend. So they found other people, other spots to fill, and they have done it so far. A nice job at that. There's the backhand from Jimerson.
Both of those players obviously slipped, but they're going to get a foul call here. Maybe a little bit too much on the body by that BC defender. You know, that's where Rachel Hall slipped to. That part of the field must just be very wet.
First early test for DeVere. Couple steps, that shot just wide of the post. DeVere Jr. made 2 appearances last year. Did play in the NCAA tournament against Fairfield, make a save there. From Ridgewood, New Jersey. Oh, it moves for Evans getting into the middle. That one squirts free, almost went in. But she gets fouled, and now she'll get an opportunity. Aggressive start for Canada here.
Yeah, Erica Evans just, you know, always takes it so hard to goal, and defense on her body there over the back. Able to get that call.
He was on the team that won that silver medal in 2017. There's the first stop for DeVere, getting ready early and going early, if you will. Sends that
really
deep.
Nice, yeah, 50-yard clear, really nicely done. Canada able to recover though. Looked like there was a lot of fast break potential, but Canada able to recover and settle back in.
Our first look at the Boston College offense in this third quarter. Mallory Hasselbeck was involved in many different ways, not on the score sheet, but you could see already the impact she's going to make on this offense. Big battle in the middle there, and open stick check will go to the way of Team Canada. They will move Courtney Weeks behind so Canada can release and get going once again here.
Canada having some success this game with their zone defense.
Britzuk looking over, now getting it to Annabelle Child. I think Child has a pretty bright future. There's a bright spot. Canada's second of the day, Child's first.
Yeah, really great job by Child there, kind of just working her defender over. Patient there with the challenge. Able to just kind of get her hands free a little bit. Looked like she was going to take a strong side. Nice, just a little bit of a roll dodge there, quick release. Don't think the defender was quite ready to make that slide on her roll dodge.
She's a part of the 2019 U19 women's team for Canada that won the silver medal there. She set a goal at age 10 to play lacrosse at Harvard, and look at her now. That's exactly what she's doing. So kind of cool to see those dreams come to fruition. That's what it's all about. Hasselbeck gets that back in there in the circle. She's going up against Morissette here.
Morissette played at Louisville, now coaches with Team Canada head coach Scott Teeter at Louisville.
But it is BC who comes out with it. That one, though, taken away. Canada has been a little feistier on defense here today. You've seen that.
Yeah, I mean, Team USA, they were timid, and I think, you know, with an attack like Team USA has, it's not the time to necessarily take risks, because you know if you make a mistake, Team USA will capitalize on it. And BC, just on their fall ball, you see Canada perhaps having a game under their belt, perhaps feeling a little bit more confident against this team, able to be a little more aggressive and come up with some key takeaways. The key now will be to not give it right back to them. Dee's been playing a lot so far this quarter.
That's into the middle and works its way through. Less than 10 minutes to go in this third.
You know, when you're attacking against a zone defense, quick ball movement is so important. You're trying to get them to sort of shift out of their spots, get their heads turned so you can slip in between kind of their zone spots. You see BC here challenging, trying to draw that double, then get the quick, you know, that she did, is a great finish. She did have her teammate down low for that quick pass, but nice job electing to take it herself and finish.
Yeah, Annie Walsh maybe with a little more patience there to get the score, her first of the day. 8-2 BC.
Yeah, nice take by her. A little bit slow on the slide there by Team Canada. Didn't quite close that gap. Allowed her to get the shot off.
Scored 15 goals, 2 assists last year. She's one of 10 children. Family of Lisa and John Walsh. A lot of siblings there for Annie. Brings out that competitive nature.
That is a lot of siblings. Almost a whole lacrosse team, I think. 10. There you go.
That's right.
I thought my 4 was a lot with a basketball team, but 10 is a
right.
lot of siblings.
You got some good matchups of 2-on-2, right?
That's right. Yep, absolutely.
I've got 3 sisters of my own, so we battle it out accordingly too. It's a whole other battle. You got 10 to contend with.
Yeah.
From Chevery, the Syracuse junior. That one's taken away, though, by Boston College.
Yeah, Team Canada needs to work to get their defensive break here. They have been playing defense this entire quarter. really look to just settle it down, get confident, really give their D a breather and try and capitalize. They've just gotten a little bit sloppy here in their passes.
Morissette staying with the play there after initially losing that draw and actually caused the turnover to get the ball back for Canada. Good job by Chevry there, under duress. Chevry was the youngest player at the last Senior World Cup. Brantford, Ontario, last year at Syracuse, 6 goals and an assist. Saw a spark from Child a moment ago. Let's see who else for Canada will step up. Like we talked about, this is sort of a newer group for them, and also, you know, different philosophies between the Canadians, Team USA, and the college team. Sort of 3 different approaches at it. Canada also with the Super Sixes next weekend in mind when putting these rosters together, and availability playing a part in that too.
Yeah, I mean, you know, depending on strategy, you know, Team Canada has this large pool. They've got to pick, you know, rosters for both disciplines. So maybe there'll be some crossover, maybe not. But you've got to look at the strengths and see which athletes will kind of do best in the Super Sixes or just in this regular international play.
Ritzuk to Peroni, and Canada's got a couple here in this third. 8-3 now. So Peroni, who had 3 ground balls yesterday, adds a goal here today off the nice feed.
Nice job by Peroni there, as you said, off that feed. You know, this draw is so important here. Again, really, they're down 5. There's plenty of time left, but just got to get tighter on their passes and work to find those gaps in Kate Deaver.
Hasselbeck and Morissette for the draw. Nice pickup there by Phoebe Day. Oh, she found herself in the middle of a bunch of red shirts, and Chevry hustles there as the ball goes out of bounds. It will go the way of Team BC. Hasselbeck, she had an opening for a second there, fakes, just goes off the stick there of Halsall. Day, guarded by Brooklyn Walker-Welch, now getting it behind to Hasselbeck. Walker-Welch does a good job getting her stick in the passing lane. It goes the way of Canada. Now here they go. And that might have actually, that whistle stopped Canada's fast break, though it will be a yellow card. So Canada will go a player up.
Normally they could just continue on with that self-start, but because it is a card, they've got to bring it back here, stop the clock. And they will be player up now for 2 minutes.
Moving around just over the stick of Doby. She reaches up. Can BC run it down? A nice job by Holly Schleicher there. Keisha Walker saying she cleans things up like a vacuum out there, Schleicher. Tenacious, Sag Harbor, New York. Sounds about right. Good job.
Good pressure. Yeah, good pressure there. On the clear by Team Canada. Now see BC taking a deep breath, slowing it down. And no rush, up 5 with just 3 minutes left in this third quarter.
BC settles it here. It's so interesting to watch a team coming off a championship and I asked Acacia a little bit about that and said, how does that sort of maybe change you at all? But she goes, yeah, they're really hungry, and we sort of have to use this all to feed us. And, everybody sort of is on that same page and to say, okay, now we want another one. That's sort of the next goal. That's sort of the next step for them is to do it again. And I mean, all these championship games in a row, definitely a different circumstance of sort of being there and not winning it so many times. They might not have that hangover, if you will, but really interesting to hear that perspective.
Yeah, after winning my junior year, our motto my senior year was different team, same dream. Because, yeah, you absolutely, it's not like, okay, we won, we're good now, we're just going to kind of ride this out. It's, you want to do it again and have that moment and that feeling with your teammates. So totally agree with Coach Walker, and no doubt she will have her team prepared to defend their title this year.
Said you get a taste of it and then you get addicted to that feeling of winning.
No argument from me there.
Oh, nice pass. Oh, just not able to finish was Hasselbeck. They'll keep on trying, though.
Right on the doorstep, Hasselbeck.
Wet stick could have maybe played a factor there a little bit. You don't miss those often, right?
No, but sometimes when you're that close, you may overthink it or just kind of seize up a little bit because she's right there. She definitely probably wants that one back.
Oh, nice dish there that time. Weeks has a hat trick. The apple by Hasselbeck. 9-3.
Nice feed there by Hasselbeck. Saw Weeks kind of streaking through, able to hit her in stride. Weeks with her third of the day.
Yeah, one of those role players a year ago that we saw, do those things on the outside of the stars, if you will. The Bell Smith would fill up the stat sheet, and Urbank, as we know, and Jen Medjid even. But Weeks, and some of these other role players also helping sort of fill out Boston College and make them not so one-tiered or one-dimensional, too.
Yeah, and like building the confidence, everybody had a role on that team last year. You could tell, watching their sort of celebration victory tour, you could tell how close of a team they were and how much fun they had together. So it's nice to see Weeks get more of a spotlight. We talked about Martello as well, some of these role players last year stepping into more leadership roles this year.
They really did have a victory tour. I almost forgot about that. Evans in the middle, the whistle blows, though I think that's a foul on Canada. They went to like a Bruins game, and then I believe throughout the first pitch of a Red Sox game, over the span of like a day or two.
Yeah, I've never seen anything quite like it, but I was really happy about it. They came to opening weekend at Gillette Stadium, PLL halftime. Yeah, they were headed to the Bruins game the next day. We saw Charlotte's behind the back at the Red Sox game, and yeah, I mean, they really made the most of it. It is definitely something to celebrate.
Hanging out with the governor, I mean, the dignitaries, the big deal. We're through 3 here. It's 9-3. The champions, Boston College, leading Team Canada. The fourth quarter, though, coming your way next here at the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic, live from Sparks, Maryland, on Lax Sports Network. Back here at the USA Lacrosse Fall Classic, Rachel DeCecco and Tom Eschen with you guys for the fourth quarter here of Boston College and Canada BC leading 9-3. This game 2 of our quadruple header here today, as we've got game 3 coming up at 5 p.m. Eastern time. The U.S. men will take on Virginia, and then to cap it all off, the Team USA women will play these Boston College Eagles, who now have a new goalie in the game, Emily English, the freshman from Hingham, Massachusetts. So we saw Hall play the first half, and now BC cycling things through in the second as Scott Teeter takes notes accordingly. Weeks and Morissette to take the opening draw of this fourth quarter. Morissette staying with it. How about that?
Nice pursuit there by Morissette. Weeks came up with it. Morissette able to chase her down, get that ball back. Those are the plays that are going to make the difference here in this fourth quarter. Being down 6, they're going to have to come up with each hustle play in these 50-50 balls.
Former IWLCA first team All-American, All-ACC as a junior at Louisville. Baxter. Had a good day against Team USA. Briar Hogg fouled there inside the critical scoring area. She'll get that, I believe, on the 8-meter. Yes, they'll give it to her on the right side.
I believe the referee signal was 3 seconds.
Oh, I believe, okay.
I think so. That's what I saw. It's a little bit hard to see here, but I believe it was 3-second call. And sometimes when you're playing a zone, if you get kind of mesmerized ball watching, it can happen faster than you think.
Yeah, that makes sense because she was outside the 8-meter when the call was made. So that 3 seconds happening inside, and therefore that was the 3 seconds as you saw, Rachel. Thank you. Here's Cassidy Weeks. She's got a hat trick. Her sister Courtney has one as well today. Annie Walsh, junior, with a goal herself. That pass just a little too hot there for Walsh into the middle.
There'll be a hold there on that feed, so she will get an 8-meter.
Here's Courtney Weeks looking for number 2. Couple steps in, goes top left corner, and good. Second for Weeks, 5 combined for the Twins today.
Yeah, again, just really dangerous off this 8-meter. BC is just a few steps in. Great shot placement there by Weeks.
Man, just creeping that by Halsall, who seemed like she was in the right spot too.
Yeah, I think, you know, when you're learning 8 meters, first of all, they're much harder than they look, than these athletes make them look. You've got defense all around you, the pressure's on, you're waiting for that whistle to blow. But I think younger players sometimes think, I'm just going to shoot it as hard as I can, and think that's going to be the most successful approach. But as you saw there, Weeks, so much of it is about placement and stick deception when you're shooting, so that the goalie can't see where the ball's coming out. Perfect example there by Weeks on that 8-meter.
Phoebe Day getting an opportunity here in the circle. Morissette wins it herself. 10-3 BC. There's Evans. Evans taking it by herself.
Just so powerful dodging downhill, Evans is.
Baxter with a little flip, she gets it back. Inside, little spin, the pirouette stopped by Emily English, but they say that Baxter was pushed into the crease. Good save by English too. She'll have to get tested again. Here's Baxter, goes in, another save for English, so she backs it up. 2 in a row. Bit of a hesitation, and then a shot and a score. How about that on the break?
Some great deception there. Kind of looked like she was going to pass it, and it came out of her stick. Almost like a changeup.
I kind of love this, Rachel. Courtney Taylor, the transfer we talked about earlier, a graduate year. How about the reception she got from the sideline and her teammates? I mean, she's definitely ingratiated herself, hasn't she?
I was going to say, they were so excited for her. Little fake. Yeah, just a great deception on that shot. Was able to fool Halsall, and their team is fired up. It's so fun to celebrate, you know, teammates' goals, particularly their first with the program. And you said it, the sideline, her teammates. Everybody's really excited for her.
As a defender by nature, she hasn't scored a lot of goals in her career, though she was an IWLCA Inside Lacrosse All-American last year at Temple. So that grad year, that extra season, she's using it here at BC and using it right, and they've loved the mentality and the personality she's brought into this team. Morissette,
yeah, dominant on the draw this quarter.
I was going to say the same thing, Rachel.
Yeah. Canada's got to get things moving here, down 8 with this running clock. There,
Bouncer.
just like that. Yeah, that's what they got to do right now. Just get these shots off.
COURTNEY with that bouncer. Her second of the day. Cuts it to 7, 11-4. Playing for head coach and Scott Teeter here. COURTNEY with another year of eligibility after this one too.
Beautiful bounce shot there. As we say, high bouncers will go. Perfectly placed right outside the crease.
Had 9 goals last year with Louisville. In 9 games, mind you, as well. So pretty efficient at that. When she was in there, she produced. See if Morissette can keep this rolling. Get a little run going here. She does just that. Walker-Reltz trying to dump it off. That one dropped for a moment by Gate.
Yeah, just a hair out of reach by Gate. She was running forward. The ball was kind of passed a little bit behind her. But KAYLA Morissette giving Canada a real shot here. I think she's up to 4 or 5 draw controls in a row.
And like you said, Rachel, they're still, this is the first time a lot of them have played together in a long time. So the more offensive possessions they get, you got to imagine the better that Canada is going to get. It's going to happen fast. Of course, the World Championship's coming up this summer. Hertzog, nice fake with the left, goes back to the right, and she scores. Couple in a row for Canada. It's 11-5.
Nifty little screenplay there from Canada's offense, working in just a little 2-player matchup. Was able to screen the defender, give Hertzog just a free hand there for a split second. You see here, she screens, gets around. Nice little fake. Switch and shot.
They say she's having a great fall right now at Northwestern and will look to take that next step in her career there. Had 3 goals, 3 assists last year, class 2023. Morissette looking to find another one, and Canada does win that after the whistle blows. Evans was hitting through the head, and Morissette has been dominant here. She's on a roll, man. Once again, Canada with another. Keeping it rolling here, and now it's 11-6, 5-goal game.
Second assist for the game, for number 3, Ritza.
Ryu Ho going to be a sophomore at Albany this upcoming season. At 13 goals, a couple assists her freshman year. One of those Hill Academy alums.
Yeah, nice little just dump play there, drawing that double team, dropping it right over them.
5 minutes to go here in the game. 11-6, Canada with a run here as Morissette has taken over in the circle. They bring back Weeks. Morissette's had a little more trouble than Weeks compared to everybody else, though. See if she can win this one. There she goes again. Put on a clinic.
Canada on a run here.
Here's Baxter weaving her way inside. How about another? 11-7.
Baxter.
Yeah, they've just got this BC defense on their heels right now. It's great speed by Baxter, just taking it hard to cage. I mean, they know they've got a few minutes left. Got to close that gap earlier. She went with her stick. The defender on BC, Elizabeth Kirk, needed to stop that forward momentum instead of leading with her stick. Baxter just with a quick little dodge there, able to get that shot off.
You know, something Rachel mentioned earlier in the broadcast was about that weave we see from Team Canada, sort of in the lines of Gary Gait at Syracuse. But something else you notice from Syracuse players, they run downhill better than many. You know, Emma Ward, I think, is a good example of that, but you saw that there with Maddie Baxter on the fast break, just taking it herself strong.
Absolutely. Emma Ward is a great example of that. I love watching Emma Ward play. She is really fun to watch.
Another draw control win. I am repeating myself. How about another score for Baxter? This is incredible. What a run.
I mean, that was in, I believe, 33 seconds they scored that goal. They've got to hustle back to center now, just down 3. It's a little over 3 minutes.
Second goal of the goal for number 49, Madeline Baxter.
So Maddie Baxter, who had 11 goals, 3 assists her freshman year, taking advantage of these transition opportunities provided by Morissette. And Team Canada fighting their way back in this thing.
Yeah, really just powering through that BC defense. They tried to stop with their body, but she really just shrugged them off. They're not able to kind of get their feet set and get that position on the fast break. You know, as you said, they're running downhill so fast. It's defensively, it's really hard when somebody's coming at you with full head of steam. You've got to get your feet going, kind of meet them halfway so that you're not stationary when they're running at you full steam.
Not an easy thing to do, and Rachel would know better than anybody, so take her word for it. See if Morissette can win another one, and finally they stop the run. So, I mean, she was in the zone there for a while. I mean, I imagine she should get a nice round of applause coming back in here.
Yeah, she really was, and now it's time to give the BC defense a break. Pass that ball around a little bit. They're up 3 with just 2 minutes, so name of the game now, let's hold the ball. Wait for that right, possibly last opportunity here.
They do have another game today, BC. They'll take on Team USA later on, so that's something else to keep in mind. And Canada,
absolutely,
with a late run here, that's got to feel good for Scott Teeter and his squad, just to see them have some positive things happen as Hasselbeck gets hit up there in the face.
We're gonna have a card here. Check into the head. Looks like she's okay.
So 1:48 to play. If BC wants, they could probably just run around with this for a little while, but Evans will go sit down. Hasselbeck has an assist today. Couple steps in, she goes top shelf. Hasselbeck's first. BC stops the run and takes a 12-8 lead.
A perfect mix of power and placement there by Mallory Hasselbeck. Capitalizing off that foul. Quick off the whistle. With her height, able to keep her stick up high and really just pings that top right corner.
Yeah, they love her physique and just how dynamic that can make her, along with that athleticism we spoke about. But really seeing the impact she can make moving forward here. And don't forget, this is a team that's going to have Charlotte North and Belle Smith back in their lineup come spring. And guess in the rest of the fall, too, after today. But that's quite the thought after the performance we've seen from them here so far.
A scary thought for everybody but BC.
Dana Dobie comes in, a little behind the back after she wins it, and having some fun as the rain starts to come on a little bit harder here.
Great composure under pressure there by Annie Walsh, double teamed in their defensive end, able to really stay calm, come out with that, help get the ball up safely for her team.
Approaching 1 minute to play, 12-8, Boston College. Canada made a late run here in this fourth. Like Walsh tried for a kick save there. Couple fakes, the shot, and the score. So Courtney Weeks gets a hat trick to match her sister. 13-8.
It's a great power dodge there by Courtney Weeks. Taking it hard to cage. Able to really execute that before the D collapsed.
So now they can say they're even on the day, each with 3.
You wonder, I have twins myself, and you wonder, you know, I'm sure it's competitive, but I'm sure it's a friendly competition. you know they're keeping track, but both certainly rooting for each other.
See Weeks immediately going to get the stick for the draw. That one flipped way high in the air. Comes back into the hands of Doby. Scott Teeter giving a few more of the other players he wanted to take a look at some more time today. Doby with not as many minutes. Big fast break here, trying for the one-timer there was Annabelle. Coming way out is Halsell.
Yeah, she just slipped there. I don't know if there was contact made with the Canadian defender, but she's holding her head as if there was. I'm just not sure. It was incidental contact.
I think we have a broken stick too going on here. Also came way out of the cage and now has to go get a new one. 20 seconds on the clock here. Probably the hardest rain of the day. Maybe not the hardest just yet, falling. After the men's game, it really opened up.
It's definitely, the skies got very dark and it opened up. It's coming down hard, but I think this is going to be kind of the weather for the rest of the day. A little off and on showers. Hopefully we can avoid thunder and lightning so we can keep these games going.
Rachel DeCecco with weather on the 8s. We'll get traffic for you at the top of the hour. Appreciate that, Rachel.
Yeah,
it's good to know.
Listen, full service broadcasting here for you.
we want this game to, well, these games to go off, you know, without a hitch, and I think that's a good sign. You give us a good weather report too. Can we get one more for Courtney? Yes, we can. Her 4th today as time expires here in Sparks. So BC with a lot to build on as they'll go on and take on USA later on this evening in the nightcap.
Hopefully they have another set of uniforms here, dry set, get some rest, and then take on just a powerhouse that is Team USA.
Don't forget, in between these women's games, about an hour from now, the men will come back out here and play. That's Virginia against Team USA there. So we've got some good stuff in store for you all, and it's going to be a fun night of lacrosse. 1 second to go. This just a perfunctory draw control. Final seconds tick off the clock. Boston College victorious, 14-8 the final here. BC just too much for Canada in the end, though they made it interesting, Team Canada, with all those draw control wins down the stretch.
Yeah, you know, great 3rd quarter, beginning of 4th quarter for Team Canada. Some things to build on for Scott Teeter as they have their 2nd game of the weekend and look to move forward towards the 2022 World Championship.
And we will look forward to the later game tonight when BC takes on Team USA. You're going to want to stay tuned because that's Charlotte North Bell Smith going up against their college team with, of course, all those stars on the field once again for Team USA. And, of course, the men will play in about an hour from now, so stick with us. Tune back in then, too. So for the Rachel DeCecco, I am Tom Eschen and the rest of our team. Thank you for watching. We will see you later on.